Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. Billings Police busy this evening investigating carjacking, a police chase, and a shooting. Police were in pursuit of a suspected stolen car when it crashed in Amen Park. About 20 minutes later, they were diverted to Prickett Lane near Central Park to investigate a shooting. Well, that crash at Amen Park happened around 5 p.m. after police attempted to stop a suspected stolen vehicle from the town pump on 32nd Street West and King Avenue. That car was occupied by a man and woman. We had reports that there were shots fired at the location. Q2 also had a crew on the scene who shot video of a crime scene with spent shell casings, taser cartridges, and vehicles with bullet holes. But so far, calls to police to confirm have gone unanswered. After fleeing, they led police into the soccer fields at Amen Park when the car crashed into a ditch that runs through the park. Billings Police Sergeant Brett Becker said one of the occupants tried to carjack another vehicle at a nearby Taco Bell on King Avenue East. Both occupants of the vehicle were taken to a Billings hospital with unknown injuries. Well, police were still at Amen Park when a call of a shooting came over the radio shortly after 5 p.m. A man was shot in the 200 block of Prickett Lane, was transported to a Billings hospital with unknown injuries. Police said there were two male suspects. One was arrested a short time afterwards in a garbage dumpster on Moore Lane. The other still on the run at last report. Police Sergeant Becker said the victim knows the identity of the suspect who is still on the run. It was a record jump for coronavirus numbers in Montana today. State health authorities calling today's spike in confirmed coronavirus cases frightening. This morning, Montana health authorities reported 56 confirmed COVID cases, the highest one-day total by far. Yellowstone County had the highest number at 14. Gallatin County followed just behind with 13. Just more than 6,400 people were swabbed in the latest round of testing. Well, in the last month alone, Montana has seen 450 cases. Governor Steve Bullock warned this afternoon that while the state has done a lot of good, it is clear that the fight is far from over.
Montana's come a long way in fighting this virus. The actions we have all taken together saved lives. But as cases continue to increase across the state, we must do more to protect one another, or else we may end up putting ourselves in a position where we have to move backwards.
And that statement backed up here in Yellowstone County, where Health Officer John Felton told me the increase is concerning as many of the new positives are coming from family get-togethers.
It's very significant. I think the other thing that we're seeing that is certainly of a concern is many of these cases are they're related to gatherings, many family gatherings like barbecues and weddings and family get-togethers, where summertime fun is turning into infection and disease.
Felton says very few of the positives in Yellowstone County are from the community testing that was done at Metro Park. Only 3 people tested positive from that so far. He's urging people to social distance, wash their hands, and wear masks.
Clearly, when people are masked, they reduce the risk of spread of disease. You think about it this way, the main thing that the mask does is it prevents the masked person from expressing droplets that could be infected. If both people in a conversation are masked, they're each protecting the other. So it's not a controversial issue in public health. I understand that there's some sort of political and social elements to that, but it's not a public health controversy whatsoever.
Felton says he believes the driving force behind the increase in cases is clearly that people are getting together more than they were before. After a 3-week-long battle with the virus, a Billings man was discharged from the hospital today. Q2's Mitch Legge talks with Irvin Rising son, who didn't know if he would ever see his family again.
The official end to 3 long weeks. Irving Rising son was discharged from St. Vincent Healthcare Monday after a long fight with COVID-19.
Counting the minutes, seconds.
When I went to his bedside this morning, I asked him how he was doing, and he turned to me and he had a big radiant smile, and I said, "You look like you might be ready to go home today." And he said, "Oh, I am so ready."
Other than conversations over the phone, Rising son hasn't been able to see his 2 kids and slew of grandkids since June 8th. The family was all there to celebrate his recovery.
So proud of him that he's a lot stronger than I am through it all. And just being around family and just kind of supporting each other, and a lot of prayer throughout our family. So, yeah, that really kept me together.
Rising Sun said support from hospital staff was crucial when he couldn't see his family. The disease also gave him a new perspective on life.
A lot of things that you have to take care of that you take for granted. And they come up and you realize what advantage you have when you're not sick.
The family had some advice for others who are supporting a family member in their COVID-19 fight.
Just remain confident, and it's not, the end all be all for it. Just support and continue to be strong. Yeah, because my dad's a strong guy and a little hard-headed sometimes, but but thank God he is.
In Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Mitch. And Rising Sun's family urges everyone to follow the safety precautions recommended by health officials so fewer families have to go through this. In Wyoming, Governor Mark Gordon has extended the state's current public health orders through July 15th. Wyoming has seen 288 confirmed cases since June 15th, which is when the current orders went into place. Governor Gordon said that no one wants to see the progress we've made vanish, but that requires each of us to make a concerted effort to slow the spread of the virus. Now, he reiterates that good hygiene, social distancing, and the wearing of masks is the best way to keep yourself and others healthy. The continuing order permits events up to 250 persons where social distancing is possible, or up to 50 persons in confined spaces. Faith-based gatherings can continue to operate without restrictions, but social distancing is encouraged. To date, Wyoming has recorded 1,144 positive COVID-19 cases and 20 deaths. A Columbia Falls man is now charged with allegedly removing the Ten Commandments monument from outside the Flathead County Courthouse. 30-year-old Anthony Weimer has been charged with felony criminal mischief after pulling a Ten Commandments monument out of the ground and into the middle of the street, according to police. Kalispell's Police Chief Doug Overman says Weimer wrapped the chains around the monument, pulled it out of the ground behind his pickup truck. Weimer was arrested in Kalispell shortly after the incident happened. Now, the police chief says they don't know at this time what provoked the act of vandalism. Weimer remains in custody at the Flathead County Detention Facility in Kalispell. All right, turning to Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire. And Bob, the rain has stopped, but still plenty of watches and warnings to talk about.
Yeah, we still got some stuff to talk about. Let me show you. We're going to start off tonight. We do have a lot of rain out there. Let me show you how much rain we did get in some places. Places like Roundup, 3.5 inches of rainfall. Rappelj, 3.41. Near Melville, 2.11. Molt had over 2 inches of rain. Billings West End, 1.86 inches of rainfall. Billings Airport had 1.78 inches of rain, so that was quite a bit. But here's the watches and warnings we're talking about. We still have a tornado watch for the northeast corner of the state. We had it basically up and down the entire eastern edge of the state, but a lot of it has just expired or just moved on. And so that's what we have there, just up in the northeast corner of the state there. Still down here on the Shoshone River, we have a flood advisory there. The river there is starting to get pretty high due to the recent rainfall. And out in the west, we have a number of flood watches, and then one flood warning in Dearborn River near Craig. That is out of its banks, and it is indeed flooding right now. We'll have more in your forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Bob. As of today, the Montana Fair is not only a go for this summer, but it's extended the number of days, and there will be carnival rides. The fair will now be a 17-day event starting the weekend of July 24th and running on select days until the fair wraps up on August 15th. Due to the pandemic, there will be no concerts, rodeos, or supercross events, but vendors and rides will be open. To ensure public safety and social distancing, only 3,000 people will be allowed on the fairgrounds at any given time.
We think we're going to get more than 3,000 a day. We're just going to have 3,000 at one time on the grounds. That's the limit we allow in. It's kind of like if you went to your favorite club and you can't go in because the occupancy load is only this big. You have to wait for somebody to come out. That's how we're going to treat the fair this year, with 3,000 people max being on the grounds as guests at any one time.
Most 4-H events will move forward, but will be closed to the general public. Organizers want people to come out and have fun, but also to be safe. And while mask wearing is highly recommended, so is getting yourself a Viking on a stick. Tickets go on sale July 6th. Still to come on the Q2 10 o'clock news, the race for Montana's open governor's seat could be one of the most hotly contested battles in the state. We'll take a deeper look at that race coming up. Plus, left in the dark, the White House doubles down on claims the president did not know about hits on U.S. soldiers. That story just coming up in just a bit.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.